I am in a cucumber farm, and with me is
Chigazurum Kasi from Hybrid Agro Enterprises, Umuahia, Abia State.
Mr. Kasi. What is your greatest challenge as a cucumber farmer?
First and foremost, the high cost of seeds. That's one. Secondly, pests and diseases. You know that I'm planting in an open field and I cannot escape pests. You understand? If it's an enclosed system, let's say like a greenhouse, there is a reduced incidence of pests. So aside that, nothing more.
What variety of cucumber do you have in this farm?
These are hybrid varieties, and actually I planted two different varieties of the hybrids. I planted the African giant from here down to that end, and then I planted the Olivera variety to that end. So that's it.
Are there special things or is there anything special you did to the soil before you started planting?
Yes. First and foremost, I carried out a soil test, got some soil samples. I took it to the lab, tested the soil for the available nutrients, you understand, which enabled me in nutrients application to meet the needs of the cucumber for vegetative growth and production, which is the fruiting.
Then talking about irrigation, I'm sure you don't need irrigation here because the rain is enough.
Actually, when I started the farm, it was during the rains were unstable. That was around the April. You understand? So I had to actually get some water, irrigate, also fertigate the farm that enabled it come up to this level you are seeing it.
When is the best time to plant cucumber?
Well, we are always faced with the question of best time to plant, but we are always eating every day. We don't have any best time to eat.
Exactly.
So you understand what I'm saying? Exactly. So actually, for me, there is no best time to plant because hunger is not seasonal. So the only thing you have to consider is this: once you have available source of water, you understand that you can start at any time. Then if you don't have that provision for irrigation, what you have to do is this: you have to pipe and then wait for the rains to be back so that the rainwater, that should be April, May, you understand, is okay to start it up without irrigation. But in the course of it, you can plant anytime with irrigation comfortably.
And how do you deal with weeds on your farm?
Okay, the first and foremost thing is this: you can apply pre-emergence after you must have cleared the land. Doing that will actually keep the weeds at check. Another thing you have to consider is this: you can either mulch, you understand, that mulching helps suppress weed growth. Then another thing you have to consider in this cucumber farming that will help you keep weeds at check is this: companion cropping. You understand, whereby for those of us that will integrate different kinds of crops, you can add a legume or a cover crop, you understand, which will help you conserve soil moisture, nutrients, and keep weeds at check.
Then how often, talking about fertilization, how often do you fertilize and which type of fertilizer do you use? Or haven't you applied fertilizer here before?
I applied fertilizer anyway. So, but I want to clear us on something. You know, we make a lot of mistakes when it comes to fertilizer application. You know, what you have to consider is this: time of application, the kind of fertilizer you are using. There are lots of, you know, when we talk about fertilizer, we have the manure, that is the organic. We have the inorganic, that's the NPK, and a whole lot of that. You understand? So now, time of application. Once, when I was making the bed, I incorporated organic manure because I used strictly organic for it. I know why. You understand? So, you incorporate organic manure in the soil, you understand, mix it with the soil, then give it some space, that is some days or probably a week spacing before you actually plant. The essence of that is this: to reduce by then they must have fermented, mixed up with the soil, and the concentration will be at a level acceptable by the plant. You know, most of us make mistake. We get fresh poultry manure, warm, we put it in the soil, we mix. That same day we are planting the seeds. The seeds, they will die, and you keep waiting till eternity. The seeds will not sprout out and we start complaining. So have you seen this? Then secondly, once they have actually sprouted out, that's the germination, the young seedlings. Some of us rush, bam, they'll still carry another poultry manure, NPK, urea, whatever kind of fertilizer and apply, which is also wrong. You have to give it time. You understand? As young seedlings, they are still tender to absorb that high concentration of nutrients. You understand what I'm saying? So you have to give it some time, probably 2 weeks after sprouting out. By then, you must have noticed changes in the leaves. You understand? Then, when you apply away from the base of the plant. This is the plant. You apply somewhere here, depending on the method, maybe in a ring method or whatever. You don't just apply directly due to the nature of the solution and all of that. So we check the concentration. Some people will apply and the crops will burn, will die. So that is what you have to put in check.
Is there any artificial means of pollination that you practice? Just like when it comes to maize, there is this means of pollination people do. They take the I think that's tassel, it's called the tassel, and then shake it over the silk. Just that is artificial way of pollination in maize. So is there any artificial way of pollination that you practice in cucumber farming, or you just let nature do its thing?
I'm practicing an organic system of farming. So I made room, you understand? I did not, in organic system of farming, sorry I'm digressing, but in organic system of farming, this is strictly bio, you understand, organic, no systemic or synthetic application of either fertilizer or pesticide. So I made sure that the population of all these pollinators are secured, you understand, conserved. So that is why these flowers, you understand, they attract all those pollinators, and you see they produce very good fruits, you understand, compared to when you are using a systemic or synthetic method of farming.
What are the common pests and diseases that affect your cucumber farm?
In a cucumber farm, you are faced with different pests and diseases. You understand? We have the caterpillars, we have the snails, we have the aphids, grasshoppers, all of
something
them.
like this.
Exactly. So you can see this is the snail. They feed on the leaves and thereby damage it, and the photosynthetic process is disturbed. You understand? Delayed fruiting and all of that. So now when we talk about diseases, now there's something we always notice on cucumber farm, though it's not here presently. That sometimes you might touch a particular cucumber, you notice a whitish substance on it. Yes. Once you touch it, you notice that thing flying off. Those are white fly. You understand? They affect the cucumber. There's something that is called fusarium. You understand? These are fungal diseases. You understand? They have the mildews, the ones that give you either yellowish coloration of the leaves or brownish coloration of the leaves. So the best way to control this is selecting improved varieties, that's the hybrids. Then timely planting is also important, and then you have to keep weeds at check, because weeds harbor all these things, and once you keep weeds at check, their incidence of invading your farm is reduced. You understand? But when you just plant and go your way waiting for harvest time, the weeds will do justice to your income, and you're left with zero, nothing.
Do you use organic or chemical pesticides?
In the past, I've used different chemical pesticides to control that. I took my observation. So now I decided to try the organic, you understand? And it's worked out well in terms of cost, in terms of performance, and it still controlled them at a cheaper cost, while compared to the high rates of chemicals now in the market. It's terrible. There are organic pesticides you can use. The neem oil is there. You understand? There are also other ones that you can maybe locally prepare by mixing some ingredients. I also use rabbit urine. You understand? It's very good at a certain dilution rate. You understand? So it takes care of all those things. And having put in place of checkmating the weeds, the incidence I noticed is at the lowest level. So I attacked it immediately.
Do you sell off your cucumbers after you've harvested, or do you store them?
I sell them off because I've already made provision for the market. I made sure that the market is readily available before producing. That's the best way.
Okay. And then, which people are your primary customers?
The local marketers, you understand, the women that sell the commercial from the restaurants, all these process as in value, all these people that are into processing, you understand, that make all these smoothies, all of those fruit salads and all of that.
Now, talking about marketing, are there challenges you face in marketing?
Yes, there are lots of challenges, competitors, you understand. Now, we also face challenges of transportation. You know how the economy is, and the fuel is not smiling, you understand. Taking it to the market is something that God has been helping us anyway.
What sustainable farm practices do you implement in your farm?
The crop rotation system, you understand. It allows me utilize the land, it allows me conserve the soil nutrients. Like I planted cucumber, next I have to go for is a deep-rooted crop or a legume on this piece of land. That, you know, that rotation will help conserve nutrients and keep everything at balance. The essence of crossing this bamboo is to raise this cucumber away from the ground, you understand, to enable the productivity. You can see the fruits, they are away from the ground, and the incidence of pests and disease attack is reduced, you understand. So now you can notice that everything is doing well. See the flowers, there is no sign of contamination. We tried our best anyway. So there are some people that do complain that once their cucumber flowers, you understand, it drops instead of fruiting.
Okay.
You understand? The essence of that is as a result of two major reasons I've observed. You understand? Some people, due to the heavy use of pesticides, they tend to scare away all these pollinators, and how will I put it, improper or wrong concentration, you understand, it will damage the young flower. And another thing, it can come from nutrients, you understand. You know, there are some certain stages where you will change your nutrients, you understand. In the vegetative state, that's when it's still young, it's advisable to give it a lot of nitrogen. But once you notice the presence of a flower, you understand, you add a phosphorus, potassium to boost the productivity. So some people get it wrong. And then pests, the ants, they will just creep the whole thing back. You understand? So there are lots of fruits here, and they are big. You can see this one. Wow. So you can see it.
Yes.
You can see how long, like how it is, and it still hasn't attained full fruit size.
Yes.
So that's the hybrid.
Maybe I should consider going into cucumber farm because of you.
Yes. It's actually nice. It doesn't take time. These ones currently are just 38 days. You understand? So it's not as before. Cucumber takes 60, 90 days and all of that.
Mr. Cassie, it is a privilege having you in your farm. Thank you very much. I do appreciate it. Thank you very much.